Welcome back, boys and girls. Today we are back in our Read Aloud, Zoey and Sassafras, Dragons and Marshmallows, our chapter book. Today we are going to be on chapter 7, which is hatching snakes. Yesterday we talked about the doorbell rings and we found out the mystical creature behind the doorbell ringing. So today, chapter 7, we're talking about hatching snakes. At this time, I want you to pause the video and take this moment to tell me, what do you think is getting ready to take place? Tell mom, dad, who's ever watching with you, share with them your prediction on what you think is getting ready to take place with hatching eggs. I mean, what eggs are getting ready to hatch? Who do you think the animals, what animals do you think is going to be hatching? So take this time, pause, discuss with your parents or whoever's watching with you what your prediction is. Now, as you know, with the chapter book, it lets us know which page that we're going to go to. So we're talking about hatching eggs. So I'm going to turn to page 39. So I'm going to flip this thing to 39, and there we go. Boom. 39. So let's go ahead and get started. Now that I was pretty sure our barn wasn't going to burst into flames, I needed to help the dragon. His tiny body lay there like a little lump. Poor thing. I circled him a few times. At first, I thought he might have a cold, but he didn't cough again. I flipped through my mom's science journals. There weren't any entries on dragons. I was stumped. I set the journals on the desk, which knocked my thinking goggles to the ground. Perfect! I dusted them off and popped them onto my head. I could feel a memory tingling my brain right away. Something that had happened last summer, something with the forest. That was it. Last summer, Mom and I were on a walk. Sassafras, who never missed a good hike, stopped in his tracks by a pile of rocks. He wouldn't budge. Mom knelt down to see what was so captivating. Zoey, do you see the little head peeking out of that egg? These snake eggs are hatching. Let's watch. Each little snake head pushed and pushed until, boom, its egg burst open and a baby snake slithered out. Most of them barely rested before skittering off into the forest. We watched until only one egg was left. The little snake inside was having a really tough time. Once he popped out, he lay there without moving. He was so much smaller than his brothers and sisters. What's wrong with him? I looked around. Where is their mother? Why isn't she helping them? Snakes aren't mammals like us. They're reptiles. They have scales, and the mother snake laid eggs. Remember, reptiles rarely take care of their babies. I did remember reading that, but now that I was seeing it in person, it seemed cruel. But they're so tiny. They can't take care of themselves. How will they know what to do? Even though they're small, they're born ready to take care of themselves. They know how to hunt, to feed themselves, and how to hide to keep themselves safe. I looked down at the tiny, weak snake. What will happen to this one? He's so small. I frowned. He seemed sick. When animals have a lot of babies at once, sometimes there are a few that aren't as big or as strong as the rest. Some people call them runts. I'm sorry to say it, but they usually don't survive. A tear rolled down my cheek. Staring down at that tiny little snake and thinking of him dying was just too sad. Mom gave my shoulder a squeeze. Why don't we give this snake a little help? We could make his first meal nice and easy. It might give him a boost. Many baby snakes like to eat worms. Before my mom could finish her sentence, I was furiously digging. I am a champion worm finder. Within a minute, I found a good-sized one. I felt a little bad because I kind of love worms, but we handed him over. Mom gently wiggled the worm in front of the baby snake, and he perked up. He swallowed the worm in one big gulp. Sassafras yelped as the little snake came to life and bolted into the bushes. I patted my thinking goggles. That was it. Maybe this baby dragon was the runt of his litter. Maybe he was hungry. I'd solve it. All I had to do was get him some. Wait. What do dragons eat? Boys and girls, listen, we've reached the end of chapter 7. Tomorrow we will be talking about chapter 8, the food experiment. So you guys already know, after every read aloud, I have questions. And so today's question, question number 1 is, what happened when Zoey put the goggles on her head? I want you to tell me, what happened when Zoey put the goggles on her head? Question number 2, what did Zoey think was wrong with the dragon? What does she think was wrong with the dragon? And question number 3, what is a runt? Now, I'm going to give you some help with that one. Now, one of the things that we remember, whenever we come across words that we're not familiar with, we want to use context clues. So we want to read above, and sometimes we read below it to figure out what that actual word means. So I'm going to read right above it, and I want you to remember what it says. It says, when animals have a lot of babies at once, sometimes there are a few that aren't as big or as strong as the rest. Some people call them runts. Question, what is a runt? I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I will see you soon.